Today we're going to compare texts using pages 26 and 27 in your student magazine. And then we're also going to look at some poetry on pages 28 and 29 as we connect to our topic. This is a photo essay. All right, the title is Electromagnets and You. You are going to read this article on pages 26 and 27, this photo essay, and then come back to the video once you're finished reading. All right, I'm going to ask a couple of questions about what you just read. Make sure to pause the video and have a brief discussion with your learning adult at home. Describe what happens when you press the doorbell. What makes the sounds that you hear from a stereo's speakers? Turn the page. Here we have a connect to the topic with poetry. The first poem is called Science Fair Projects. And this is walks us through a purpose, hypothesis, materials, procedure, results, and conclusions. Then you have another one on page 29 called Magnet. Read the titles and look at the illustrations, and then read the poems on your own. You can pause the video, but come back when you're finished. Now that you've read Science Fair Project and Magnet, the poems, please answer these questions with a brief discussion with your learning adult. Based on the purpose and hypothesis in the poem, what have you learned about how the speaker feels about her brother? How did the poet organize Science Fair Project? What words does the author use to create imagery when describing the horseshoe magnet changing? What is the poet saying about magnets? In the Discuss Poetry box, it asks us to compare and contrast form in these two poems. How does each poet arrange the words? Notice capitalization, punctuation, rhyme, and line breaks. Take a second and discuss that and compare and contrast the form of these two poems. Now it's your turn to compare texts. We're going to do this in 3 connections: text to text, text to self, and text to world. Now remember, these aren't in your book anymore, so you need to listen carefully and choose one of the connections. In text to text, you're going to use details from the poems, the photo essay, and the article that you read today. In video 1 and 2. You're going to use those texts and support your responses to the following questions. How is the information about magnets in The Power of Magnets similar to the information in Electromagnetics and You? And then how is it different? How would you describe the moods of Science Fair Project and Magnet? And then, what do Michael Faraday and the speaker in Science Fair Project have in common? So you're going to use the text from this week to answer those 3 questions. That's text to text. Remember, you can always go back to this video. You can fast forward, you can go back and rewind it, and you can do whatever you need to do. Okay, text to self. How inventions can cause your lives to change. Here's the question. How did Michael Faraday's work change people's lives? Okay, that's text to self. You're applying it to inventions and how they can change your life by looking at Michael Faraday's invention and how that changed people's lives. And then in text to world, You're going to have a discussion, and using these questions, we're hoping to have you deepen your thinking and have a discussion with your learning adult. Here are your questions for discussion. How do you think inventions make our lives better? And are there any inventions that you could go without for a day? How about go without for a week? And then how about could you go without it for a month? Choose one of these connections, text to text, text to self, or text to world. And remember, you can always forward or go back in the video.